wants to be normal? I mean, honestly, seriously. Normal is the same as everyone else. It's socially acceptable. It's, being able to be a mum with a newborn and do the washing and the cleaning and the house and the cooking dinner and being perfect. Or at least that's what social media tells you. When it comes to being normal, there's 8.5 billion different people on the planet today. There's 8.5 billion different versions of what normal is. So what is normal? Normal is being socially acceptable to everybody else. Now, as a person, you are made up, your personalities, your traits, your humor is made up on average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So you are considered normal by your closest, nearest and dearest, which is kind of only really what you want, right? You don't want to be considered normal to everybody on the planet, because if you're considered normal to a mum and normal to a chief exec of a multi-billion pound a year company and normal to a gang warlord, what exactly do you have in common with those people and those personality types? Well, the truth is that you don't, because you would resonate with the people that are closest to you. So if you're a mom, you're a mom. If you're a business person, it'll be the chief exec. And if you're a warlord or terrorist, it'll be the other one. So why do we spend so much time comparing ourselves to others? Well, we spend a significant amount of time wanting to know that what we are doing is right. Because if we think it's right and they think it's right, then we are right together. But what happens if the person that you're relating with or checking that you're acting in the same right way as everyone else is actually wrong? What if that person has a different circumstance to you? What if their family situation is different to you? Then the decision that they offer will be right for them, but not right for you. So then how do you then act in the way that's most appropriate for you? And do things that are normal for you and people like you and your circumstances. You listen to this, you tune in to like your inner being, and you start listening to what you really want. From an ancestral healing perspective, there are things that come up in our past that come up today. The stuff that comes up today in my life that is more relevant for my grandma's time, but it still comes up. It's the same shit, crap, that comes up. It comes up nearly every day. It's the fear of doing something different, being a woman who is free thinking and independent, which a couple of 100 years ago would get me, weighted down and thrown in a river. Times change. Personalities of people change. The stories that we tell ourselves don't. Back in the 80s, when I was born, it was very common to, base your definition of normal off of what you saw, the people that you saw at work, kids and parents of, kids that went to school, who you saw in the green market, supermarket. And that would be your definition of normal. That would be your world. Well, today's world is social media galore. You've got pictures and feeds and videos and reels and stories that kind of define what normal is. How much time you spend outdoors, how much time you spend on the computer, what it's like to be 8 months pregnant and still fit into a size 6 pair of jeans. It's the expectations of what normal is just huge now. So what's right? What's wrong? What aligns with you? It needs to be what works for you. So as a mum of one and brewing the next, what's right for me? Well, As a pregnant woman, consider for a moment that everything that I feel and eat and chemicals running through my body actually get through to my baby. So being able to manage stress and anxiety and business pressure is really important so that I don't impact my little one. There's a lot of research that's been done on in utero chemical imbalances and changes. It was first studied by, I forget the name of the guy, but he looked at post-Second World War babies that were born immediately after or were in gestation during the very end of the Second World War, predominantly in Belgium. And they had identified that a gene is triggered when the mother is starved or doesn't get the right access to nutrients. And the babies, the children, grew up to actually store fat. A gene was triggered to retain nutrients and food. So they always carried a little bit of extra weight. So then we know that because that's story, it's theory, it's research, we know. So I eat healthily, plus or minus a bag of crisps. But I'm mindful of the stuff that I eat and put in my body because I know that it will have an impact on my child. But it's not just food, it's emotions as well. And everyone always says, never get a pregnant woman angry or upset, because it's not just because the hormones make us, more sensitive. It's about being able to pass stuff through to the baby. Now, this is my approach to my version of normal for being pregnant. And when I've got this approach to being normal, things that used to matter don't. So I'm pregnant, so I'm now no longer worried about how big my backside is and what size jeans I fit into, because I'm putting on weight. My baby is growing; it's getting rather big, but I want a healthy baby, so I don't want to be stick thin. I want my baby to grow, so I then am not worried about my size. I'm concerned about the amount of sleep that I get and the amount of rest. So it's normal to work 8 hours a day, but I don't do that anymore. I have changed my definition of normal because it's not just me. And me as a person, there are some people in my life that are negativity drains. They drain away all of my positive energy, all of my good energy, and they just sap me and leave me feeling really negative and withdrawn. So I don't need that at the moment. So there's a bit of distance between myself and some friends, which is fine because it's normal. It's normal. Now, being pregnant and being someone else, they might disagree with that completely. But I'm doing what's right for me. So who wants to be normal? Who wants to act in what's right for them in any given moment? To have the confidence and the self-assurance to do, be, and act in alignment with their true self, knowing that they're going to get what they want to get at the end. It's confidence. I don't mind trying something and getting it wrong because it's a learning experience. Learning experiences are what they are. Just means that I'm going to get better at it next time. So being normal is doing the right stuff that's right for you. And it's always nice to get someone else's opinion. Act on your opinion, because at the end of the day, it's only your opinion that really matters. And it's only your opinion that's going to be remembered, and that's going to have an impact on future actions that will define your normal at a future point. Being able to stand in your power and knowing that you're confident and you're right is just a simple decision-making process, which for some is harder than others. And I hear that. If you want to be more normal and feel more normal and align with normality within yourself and knowing what it is that you want, drop me a line. I've got some time free next week. and we can take you on your step and on your journey to feeling comfortable in being your definition of normal.